Hey girls, hey. Hey boys, hey. It's Mama Beauties here coming back at you from North Kakalaka. And I am bringing you some better translation of my last video and what the slip was. Before we go into the second chapter, I want to break down what I meant by NK's slip on the last video, and it does fall in the first 15 minutes of the second phone interview that she gave you guys on August 21st at 6:45 p.m. So I rushed in telling you in my last video and it got lost in translation, and so I want to explain exactly what I'm talking about, and I want to give you the exact minutes so you can go and look at the video yourself. Now, if you go to Scott Reich's channel, which I did link it in the last video that I made, I did put the link in the description box for Scott Reich's NK's second phone interview. If you listen to that first 15 minutes and you go to 13 minutes in that very video that I linked, and you listen from 13 minutes to 13 minutes and 15 seconds, you will hear what I'm about to read to you and explain to you. She is telling the agent that Chris had her look at his macros and help him to figure out if he needed more proteins for a guy his size. And we all know that we just learned from Sherilyn Cadle's Held Back chapter, if it's true, now this is just if this is true, you guys, that this cult that NK was in was a cult that watched their weight. They were into their macros and their diets and what they were eating. So she said that Chris invited her over on July 4th so she could look at these macros. But we all already know that that's when he woke up at her house. He was fighting with Shanann. He left and NK followed him over there. But she says in this interview in the 13-minute area that she was invited over there and he sat her down and she said to the agent what Chris was saying to her. And she was quoting Chris, but when she did this, she slipped up. And I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to listen at the 13-minute mark to the 13-minute, 15-second mark, because the agent asked her if she thought that the weight loss was motivated by her and that you were just trying to help him get into better shape. So around the 13-minute mark, she says, well, he was already in good shape and taking care of his health and his diet and going to the gym. I just think he was like, okay, and this is where she slips up. She's quoting Chris. She tells this agent that Chris was like, hey, since you're already in this, and then she stutters. It sounds like she was going to say in this group that follows macros, or in this religion that follows macros, and she realizes what she's about to say. And she goes up and she changes it to Chris saying, hey, I just think, hey, since you're already lived this healthy lifestyle, she trips up on her words. I need you guys to go and listen to it. So basically, she almost blurts out that Chris said, since you're in this group, will you show me about my macros and if I need more protein? And instead, she trips up on her words. She pauses, and then she changes in to living a healthy lifestyle. And so she was about to say in something, but changes it to Chris saying, since you're living a healthy lifestyle. But why would in even be in front of living a healthy lifestyle? You're in living a healthy lifestyle? No, she says that Chris says, hey, why don't you help me with this? Because you're in. And then she stops herself. She goes, living a healthy lifestyle. So please go back and listen to what I'm talking about. I know it sounds crazy hearing it in my words, but you have to listen to it so you can pick up on the tone, and that she realizes she slipped up. She realizes she was about to say that he asked her about his macros because she's in this group that Chris says that all the young people in Colorado are doing now. And we did learn a little bit about that group, that they do watch their weight and all of that. So I just thought it was awfully weird that had she just kept it flowing, I wouldn't have thought anything about it. But she literally chokes on those words and then changes the whole direction of that sentence. So go watch it. No, I'm not gasping for air, AJ, aka Audrey. This is just who I am. How long have you subscribed to me? Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Chronic Life. Elizabeth, Charlie. So you just have to hear it in context, and the way she stumbles. It sounded to me in that moment she was almost going to say Gaia. Will you help me with these macros because you're in whatever they call it? I don't know if it's called Gaia. I don't know if it's called NK secret group. I don't know if it's called a cult. I don't know what you would label it, but evidently she was supposed to be in this secret society, and she almost blurted it out to the agent when Chris sat her down and asked her to help him with those macros because she was in that group. And she realizes that she almost said it, and she backtracks and said, oh, thank you, Elizabeth Gregory. That is so precious. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much that is appreciated. Thank you, girlfriend. And I'm going to mail that out on Monday, so don't you worry. So, but you guys will know when I'm out of breath. I will be probably hacking and choking and literally gasping for air. So you will probably hear a little bit of wheeze and all of that. But thank you for your concern. Hi, Jay Lewis. So yes, that is exactly what I meant by it. Go listen to it for yourself and then come back and give me your educated answer or what you think about it. It is in the second phone interview of Nichol Kessinger. The link is in my other video I just did a few hours ago. And you can go straight to the 13-minute mark and listen. But again, Elizabeth, you are awesome. Yeah, she's got way too much to hide. So in the next 15 minutes that I covered, I noticed that when she's talking to the agent, I don't know if it's the agent that does this, but it sounds like it's NK. But I picked this up because I do this to my kids. If I'm on an important call, like trying to get something serious done, and my kids are all talking in the background, I do that. You know, I try to get to let everybody know I'm on the phone, but I don't want to act like an idiot to the person on the phone. Like, you guys be quiet. So I don't want this person to hear me, tell them to shush. So I'm like, well, you hear that in the next 15 minutes of this second interview of NKs. You hear like this noise, and then you hear somebody basically tell whoever made that noise to pipe down. I'm on the phone with the police, or it's Kevin doing it to some people around him. But I found it interesting, so you might want to go check that out as well. And I will tell you the exact point it is at. It is at 1740. You hear the noise that the person didn't like, and then at 1742 you hear somebody go really loud, letting whoever know that they need to pipe down. So let's get into the next 15 minutes of Nichole's video. See, Chronic Life, you heard it too. I wish I knew what she meant by it too, because then she stumbles and says, lifestyle, and you wouldn't put in front of lifestyle. You would say in that lifestyle or in the lifestyle. You wouldn't just say the way that she said it. So I highly recommend listening to minutes 13 to minutes 15 seconds. Chronic Life. Thank you, Norma. Yes, Charlie, it's at 1740, you hear the noise, and then at 1742, you hear the snaps. That's absolutely right. Is Robbie here? Hey, 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 Big Daddy. Hey, Save Robbie, good evening. Hi, Faith. Thank you, AJ, aka Audrey. Sorry, I got a little defensive, is because my trollers and haters were saying that I sound like I can't breathe. And maybe that's some constructive criticism, and I need to take heed to it. And whenever I schedule one of these things, I am running around and making sure I use the restroom, making sure I have a drink, and making sure my son is taken care of. So I may be out of breath by the time I get here. Who knows? I knew what you meant, Mama or Norma. Sherry, you did. Yes. Thank you. I'm glad you watched it. Yes, it makes me wonder too, because she was hating on Thrive big time. And it was like she wanted to give Chris drinks every day. She didn't want him taking Shanann's regimen of Thrive. She wanted him on her drinks. It was really weird. It's okay, AJ. You didn't know. Thank you, Save Robbie. That is awesome. You guys are so sweet. Yes, and Save Robbie, I love Thrive when I did it too. I really did. I can't lie. Okay, so let me if there's nothing else you guys want to talk about before I get into the next 15 minutes of this interview, then I will go ahead and do it. But I highly recommend listening to minute 13 to minute 13 and 15 seconds to see if you think or catch the same thing that I caught on my earlier video. All right. So the agent starts out at the end of the last video, at the end of the last 15 minutes, she said that she never thought to ask Chris about wearing double patches. And she just thought it was interesting and that she thought that the police should know that. And then the agent says that he appreciates her, and those are things that he wanted when they talked prior for her to remember. And he wanted to get her to recall anything that did seem out of place back then, that may not have seemed out of place back then, but does seem out of place now with what she knows now. And NK says it was scary to her that he lost that much weight on that stuff. So she continues her rant about how she doesn't like Thrive. Sorry, it was tickling my face. And that it was scary to her, you guys, that he lost that much weight on that stuff. But she guesses a lot of people do. But she kept thinking about it, and it almost seems like it's a drug. So serious hate on Lavelle and Thrive, and probably anything that has to do with Shanann at all. Yes, I recommend everybody at least trying it. I mean, there's too many people that says that they had great results, but also know that not everyone has the same results as everyone else, and it might take a while for it to kick in and all of that. You're not going to get the same results that Johnny or Sally's going to get, and so it's a case-by-case thing. So when you came off Thrive, yes, you do unfortunately have some residual effects, and they are a good rep would tell you that. A good promoter would tell you that you are going to feel a little sluggish after you come off of Thrive, and they highly recommend stepping up on it, like doing half the dose, taking only one pill, a quarter of the shake, cutting the patch in half as you do it. And then they also recommend stepping down when you want to get off of it. So it's the same thing as, you know, taking a bunch of B12 and then you don't get your B12 shot the next day. You're going to feel a little sluggish. But yes, I did have some detox and some withdrawals from it, for sure. And Save Robbie is actually a rep, you guys, right here. So if anybody is interested in trying it, get with him. He actually has a website that you can look up and everything. So yeah, get on it. Get your Thrive on. So what else? Where was I? She was calling Thrive a drug at that point. Yeah, and that's okay. It's that way with everything, Robbie. So, and I'm glad that you are one of the people that admit that, you know, instead of just trying to tell everything, it's everything you want to hear. But that's great. So the agent says if you look at any diet, he says if she said it almost seems like a drug. And then the agent starts defending it and he says, well, if you look at any diet, he's not a fitness guy, but people lose excess amounts of weight on Atkins and in short periods of time. The agent then says that he thinks it's interesting that Thrive played a part in it. And the agent, Kevin, said he planned on getting one of these patches to try to figure out what it is. He says they will figure that out at some point. And then NK says, okay. And the agent says, what's next on the list? Because she made a list. And NK says, let's see. Oh, okay. So there is Saturday. And the agent says, Saturday? And NK says, 11th of August. Was that the 11th? She asked the agent. And the agent says, yes. So then she says that this is the night that we attempted to go to the Lazy Dog on 120th and Federal. And we walked in and I looked at their menu. They tried to seat us and I looked at their menu. She said it twice and was like, I'm not eating here. And because, yeah, that's what she said. So we went to the other Lazy Dog, which is actually owned by somebody else. So they have a different menu. So we went to the Lazy Dog off of, I think it's 144th, you know, that I told you guys. And we sat down and we ate. And the agent says, it's on Highway 7, right? And NK responds to that question with, what's up? And the agent says, it's on Highway 7. And NK says, no, I don't think so. It's on I-25 and 144th. And the agent says, okay. And then she says she can look it up. And the agent says, no, that's okay. He thought there was two of them and there was some confusion. And one of their agents had went and Kevin just wanted to make sure that the agent had went to the right one. And so the agent says, I don't know the Lazy Dog, but I will ask the guy tomorrow. And then 144th is right by Highway 7. And then NK says, okay, well, I didn't know that. She said, I never had been to that one. So I think it was 144th, might have been 135th. I will look it up tonight and just screenshot you the address and I'll send it to you in case you guys need to pull those videos. You can find it. And then she goes, but one thing that I noticed about this is that, and then that is where you hear the loud noise, is right after she said, one thing that I noticed is that, and you hear a loud noise in the background, and that's at 17 minutes and 40 seconds. And then at 17:42, before she even finishes the sentence, you hear somebody snapping at somebody. And she said, so normally when we went out, I tried to keep things pretty cheap just to be respectful. Like, they never went to any expensive places, and sometimes she would pay for things, and sometimes he would. But when he paid, he would always use those gray Anadarko gift cards They were always like 25 and 50, and they came in denomination increments that made sense. Well, I didn't understand why she said that. She told the agent that the gift cards came in denomination increments that made sense. So I don't understand. What's you guys' take on that? Let me see. Yeah, I agree, Felicity. Yeah, she did say that she went by Chris's house and he was cleaning carpets, but she never brought that day up ever. And she didn't clean the carpet. He didn't clean the carpets on the 4th or the 14th. So if anyone could find out what day he cleaned the carpets, we would know another day that NK went there. The exact ingredients of Thrive, Charlie, you can actually look it up. There are a lot of YouTubers that have went over it, but you can look on the back of the packaging of each and every item and look them up on the internet, and they're all pretty much natural. The only like hardcore thing in Thrive is theobromine, but that's the same thing that's in Red Bull, is theobromine. But I did have some people when I sold Thrive whose doctors recommended that they did not take it because they had heart problems. So with people like that, you just have to kind of be careful and tell them, you know, to ask their doctor first. And that, Big Daddy, that's why I got into Thrive, was to get the extra energy. Miss T, I was just having everybody listen to NK's second interview from minute 13 to 13 minutes and 15 seconds, and let me know what you think about that slip. It's an individual base, Big Daddy. I would just get the sample or try it for a month and see how you feel. You can always cancel the auto draft. Save Robbie can hook you up with the website link of a place to get it because he is a promoter, but it is different for each person. Like everybody thrives differently. At the beginning, she said the first time she went to his house, she had been cleaning carpets and had to move the couch from the front door. I remember that exactly, Chronic Life. Don't the lazy dogs all have the same menu? I've heard that too. I always wondered that. But she said that the other one was owned by somebody else. But I don't think that you're allowed to have your own menu because you own it. But who knows? Does anyone know if the other lazy dog actually had a different menu? Like Mama mentioned, it was closer to Chris Watt's house. That's true. Mama Beauties, you started early again and I'm still late. Oh, I'm sorry, love bug. Just go and listen to minute 13 and to 13:15 on my last video. There's a link in the description box. I'm sure we could pull the menu for both lazy dogs, but would it have changed in the last year, you guys? Sometimes menu changes. I used to be a bartender in restaurants, and menu changes a lot because they say people get tired of eating the same thing. Charlie, each product has many different ingredients, vitamins, minerals, a lot of caffeine, the energy portion. I was once a promoter also. Can't use any of the products any longer. Me either, Chronic Life. It's not for me at all. I can't use any of the products anymore either, but I have heard that it was great for a lot of people. I can't deny that. Yeah, I wouldn't forget about wet carpets either. Oh, interesting fact. She handed out safety cards. Good. Does anybody know? Can anyone confirm this for me? That is a great idea. Like, you know, a heads up that you have to be concerned. What are they called? What's it called on the side of a cigarette pack? I'm drawing a blank, the word. Yes, someone is Googling the menu right now. Thank you. Whoever is doing that, you guys rock. Let's see. I always thought that should have been a huge flag for agents, as Lazy Dog is a chain restaurant. So to say that you didn't like the menu at one and go to, yeah, there was a lot of red flags for them that they didn't get. Lewis, I believe the menus are the same. We've been at the Orchard Mall. That was the 4th of July. Maybe like a lot of restaurants, they have an online menu. Smart girl. I wish I could remember who said it, but the two Lazy Dogs do, fact, have different menus. Interesting. Well, if they have different menu items, they would still not have the same. They still would not have the same. I think maybe they saw someone they knew, like maybe Chris would go in first. Yeah, I think they did too, because she said they tried to seat us. And I think as they were trying to seat them, Elizabeth Gregory, they saw somebody that either Nikki knew or Chris knew, and they didn't want that person to see who they were there with. Yeah, she makes my head hurt too. Like, weren't they worried about that going out of town? Yeah, they were like all over the place. A warning label. Thank you, Leah. You read my mind, sister. Yes, a warning label. The products were great when I could use them. My health situation required I quit. I just had to quit because I was just becoming too dependent on it. And I felt like I was leaving one addiction for another. But that was just me personally. And I did, like Paula Joyner is saying here, have a lot of people I gave samples to say that their doctor told them no. And you guys, giving somebody a 2-day sample cost the promoter $10. And someone told me that Thrive went up. Let me just mark my spot here. That it is actually more than $150 a month, and that you can't Thrive for $150 anymore. So when you are buying those month supplies, it is only going to give you 30 samples, and then you got to buy an extra box of shakes. So you only get 30 samples for $190 when I was doing it. So that's a lot of money to give somebody that just leaves it laying on their counter. They might not even try it. Their doctor told them no. So your $10 just went down the drain if they put it in the trash, you know. And so I would say out of 10 samples, one person would end up using it. And I kept track of that kind of statistics. Why didn't she like the first menu? I mean, was she that picky? You heard the noise too and the snapping? I thought it was the lieutenant telling someone to listen or write stuff down. Yeah, I thought that it was somebody that NK was with, and they were like pulling up a chair or doing something, drop something, and I thought it was her. But I did mention, honey, that it could, earlier when this video first started, that it could been the law enforcement as well. We don't know which one it was. I'm sorry, Brandy. Did you hit the notification bell? I'm sure you guys did. I'm new to YouTube. You all are pros. Please don't be insulted because I asked that, because that would be something I needed to be asked. Oh, Lordy. While y'all are at it, hit that live button. Hit that, that like button. I don't know if it counts because I don't monetize videos like this. You guys, this is not why I started my YouTube channel. I started it for an outlet and to get some friends. And I have gotten lots of awesome friends. And I appreciate your emails. And I appreciate your support. And I appreciate how all of you have my back. And it's just awesome. I even appreciate my haters because my subscribers went up to more than 50 a day. I was averaging 50 subscribers in 24 hours. And then once I started getting haters, I started getting mo. And I do a giveaway every 500 subscribers. So the haters might want to stay. Let's see. She handed out safety cards to employees that had a good week with no accidents. So she would have been the gal to hand these money cards to Chris Watts. So it's odd he used his own card the hour before Shanann came home. Yeah, I thought about that too, Miss T. I thought about, since they did mention that he got these cards for having safety, like no safety issues in the environment, and she was the one that controlled that. Maybe she manipulated it to where he won all the time, to where he didn't have any bad marks on his track record or whatever, and that she was manipulating it, because she then says, oh, but you'll have to ask Anadarko about that, because I didn't work there, as it alluding to the fact she didn't know all about it, and she didn't just tell him all about it. So thank you, AJ. You guys are so sweet. Okay, so let me finish up. And so she said that Chris told her that he got these cards from Anadarko as rewards, and that it was for doing really good stuff at work. And is that true? I don't know, she tells the agent. She says, I know him and his wife had a lot of financial issues. And she said, so I don't know if maybe he is the one that actually wanted to spend all the money. So then she tries to play both sides of the fence. So she tells the agent that she doesn't know if it was Shanann that was wanting to spend all the money, that maybe it was Chris. And she said maybe he was cashing his paycheck in via gift card. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? So that his wife couldn't track it. She says, I don't know, but it's something you guys will need to confirm with Anadarko. So she tries to say that he was cashing his check, which was probably $1,000, $2,000, something like that, for via gift cards. I do not think so. What company gives their employees gift cards instead of paychecks? Girl, you lost your mind telling him that. Oh, you guys are sweet. Thank you, thank you. I love the love. Brandy, it didn't tell me either this morning, but this one tonight, it did. I swear, YouTube plays games sometimes. Being legally blind, I really on my notification bells. I'm sorry, love. Let's see. Exactly, Mama. Then they had a way to pay for their dates. Exactly. And she didn't have to feel bad for him paying all the time. She was like, I helped you get those. You wouldn't even have got those without me. So, let's see. Can you imagine how much help those gift cards would have been for the house expenses? NK is saying she paid at times, but Chris said he paid for everything. Exactly. La, la, la. Girl, it's a la, la, la. Tina, I love your support. It's 4 a.m., you guys, where Tina's at, and she is here watching her some mama. Thank you, girl. I know what it's like to stay up and have to watch somebody because you don't want to miss it. For YouTube. You are rocking it. Thank you. They both are very big fibbers. Okay, so the agent says, were they actually in the name of Anadarko, or is that what he told you? And NK says, no. You guys know that when she says no, that she's lying. And in this video, in the first 30 minutes, I could probably count 1,000 I don't knows. She said, I don't know more in this than my children, all 5 of them, have said to me in my entire life when I ask them where something is. She said more. I don't think they were reloadable, but I'm not sure. I can't confirm that. No, I can't sing worth a darn, Miss T. I cannot sing at all, but I do it anyway to entertain myself. Thank you. You're sweet. My daughter can sing, though. My daughter has taught me so much, you guys. You would think that my son with ADHD and Asperger's have given me more patience, but actually my daughter, with her loving and she just takes everything in stride. She's so calm. She doesn't really get crazy except on anyone but me and maybe her significant other, because we're the closest people to her. But she always sees the good in people. And so she taught me so much patience, and that nobody's going to take you serious if you act crazy, that you can't get your point across being heated. Take some time before you respond to a text message. Don't get online when you're mad. Like, I learned all this from my 19-year-old, and I'm 41 years old, and she teaches me amazing, amazing life lessons, you guys. Exactly, which means she does know and doesn't want us to know. What'd you see, Muffy? You better tell us, girl. What'd you see in that discovery? Thank you, Kathy. Muffy, tell us what you saw, girl. No, they are not bright at all. Between the two of them, they're not even that bright. The Lazy Dog has the same fall 2019 menu for both locations. Yes, Muffy, Gabri. What did you see in the discovery, girl? You're teasing me. Thank you. I love to watch her put on makeup too. She is so talented. Yes, tell us, Muffy. Get her, Paula. What did you see, girlfriend? We are waiting on pins and needles. You guys, are you allowed to show a brand of a drink in your video? Or when I drink something, am I supposed to be covering it? Is YouTube that technical, or is it okay? That's how much I do not know. I had to watch tutorials to get monetized. Let's hear it, Muffy. Girl, expose. Expose. She's going to tell us you wish you knew. Okay, good. But I think he is sponsored by Red Bull, sister. I really do. I think he's got a sponsorship with them. I love, I really, if anybody wants to get me something for Christmas, I want Shane Glosson. I want Shane Glosson. I use this Lip Sense gloss right now, and I love Mary Kay's gloss, but I really want to try that Shane Glosson so bad. Not to change the subject. Muffy, I'm just waiting for Muffy to tell us. Discovery subpoenaed Chris Facebook. His username was, dun, 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 dun. Let me put that up. Not sponsored by Great Value. So what was his username? Muffy Pins and Needles. I know it did. But if somebody wins one, Muffy, come on, girl. You playing games. I know you're not. She's typing. She's typing. Ooh, I hear my stomach growling, and I've ate. Yeah, give it to Great Value, girl. Okay, well, I'm going to continue reading until Muffy tells us what his username was. Christopher? Yeah, really. He probably thinks he is. It probably was idiot. Oh, my God, Muffy. Hey, Mama. Hey, Cynthia. Okay, where was I? Oh, there it was. So then when he asked her that, he says, were they actually in the name of Anadarko, or is that what he told you? She's killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. She's killing me too. But so in case says, no. I seen them. They say Anadarko on them, and they are dark and silver credit cards, but they are like a gift card. That's what she said. Thank you. His name was Chris Ovas 430 at yahoo.com. Chrysovaz 430 at Yahoo. Chrysovaz. I'm trying to think all of the different ways I can say that. Chrysovaz 430. Wow. I know what you meant too, girlfriend. Sometimes I do have to be explained things, though, a lot. The account linked to Shanann's friend. Okay, so that was his name, you guys. And the account was linked to Shanann's friend, Christina. Oh, that's crazy, Faith. Okay, so she said, the agent said, you're just suspicious that potentially he was hiding money from his wife with these gift cards. And NK says, honestly, no. I think Anadarko legitimately gave these to him. The oil industry is pretty good about when your operators do things that are safe, or they do a really good job at something. And it sounds like she doesn't really want to talk about these gift cards, because that's what makes me think that maybe she was helping Chris to be able to get them, and that he was really getting safe numbers and safe stats because she was tweaking them for him. And so she said they usually provide like gift cards or some sort of incentive for them. And the agent says, so they bonus these guys out if they have no safety violations. And NK goes, yeah. So stuff like that. So they're like safety rewards. And she said, yeah. So do I think they are legitimate? Honestly, yes. And then she goes, I. She said I 4 times. And she says, I do, but something you need to confirm with Anadarko, because I wasn't one of their employees, so I don't know. And she says, but I did think to myself, if they do have money issues, maybe he was possibly concealing it, but it's not even the gift cards that is the main focus on this right now. She said, but to me, the main focus is that he always used those and wanted to bring it to your attention that the night, and she was about to say that we went to the Lazy Dog, he didn't use a gift card. And the agent interrupts her and cuts her off as she's talking about the night they went to the Lazy Dog. And he says, you guys never really went out on a date per se, with the exception of this Saturday night on the 11th, right? He said, usually you guys spent time at your home versus going out, unless I'm mistaken at what you're saying. And NK goes, you are. I mean, she was quick to tell him, you are mistaken. So let's see. Christina Meacham. Yeah, maybe she did set it up. Yeah, he did put words in her mouth, Charlie. She does rush stuff she doesn't want to talk about. Christina was in Discovery for being Chris Watts' Facebook social media. Oh, wow. Okay, so then she goes, no, when he said, unless I'm mistaken at what you're saying. And she goes, you are. Most nights we hung out at my house, but we went out a few times, and I have dates for everything. And I can give you that once I'm done with this. The reason that this got my attention was not because of the gift cards, but because of the lack of a gift card. She said, so when we went out to dinner, he went to pay the check, and I noticed that instead of using one of the Anadarko gift cards, he had a baby blue credit card in his hand that he used to pay with. And NK remembered thinking to herself, why is he not using one of those gift cards? She was pretty sure he still had a balance on one of them, but she could not remember, and was just like, maybe. At this point, he had made it clear to her that they were filing for divorce, and it was like done. So maybe he just doesn't really care anymore. But part of her was like, technically they are still together, so why would he do that? She did not ask because he had told her by that Saturday they were so far removed from each other that NK was like, it's plausible that now he is just not like, has nothing to cover up. That's what she said. That she thought that it was plausible because now he's just like, he has nothing to cover up. You know, but then at the same time, I still feel like until your divorce is 100% completely final and you're out of that house, why would you do that? Now, why in the world would she know what his gift card balances are unless she literally, he wouldn't let her know what the gift card balances were unless she got them for him in the office. Brandy, she said that they were in increments that made, or denominational increments that made sense at 25 and 50 is what she said. And then after she said how much they were, she said they were denominational increments that made sense. He had no cash. He didn't have the balls to ask her to pay, right? Cynthia B, funny how NK can remember things that happened weeks ago, but she never can remember that 2-hour phone call. I still say if he had been a woman detective, she would have been harder on her. Agreed. I love how she runs the show, all of it. Tammy, yes, she rocks the house. She is good at her job. That's why she gives the lie detector test, you guys. So I think the whole credit card was to get the argument rolling with Shanann, knowing he was going to kill them in 24 hours. Oh yeah, he was calculated and purposeful in everything he did weeks leading up to this. Yes, isn't it really funny about the 111-minute call she can't remember? Me too, Miss T. Shanann told him keep the receipt. I think she asked for it when she got home. It may have started the emotional conversation. Yeah, I don't think she realizes how she sounds, Jackie. Yes. Why would she know the balance left? Yeah, I just don't know why she would know the balance left. So, and she says it again. She says that she knows these balances again here in just a minute. Let me finish this really fast. She has such a good memory for so many things, but her mind slips for so many others. Exactly. Okay, so the agent says, so you just found it was a little bit suspicious that he used a credit card versus the gift card. And NK says it was like he had nothing to hide or nothing to lose. It was just like, yeah, I'm going to pay with this and I don't care. Funny that she knows that, but she doesn't know anything that was going down. The agent said it was a credit card that would be something the wife would see at some point. So in your mind, he's like, we are divorced or I don't care. She is going to find that I have a girlfriend. And NK says, I don't even know what he was thinking. I can't think for that man. I can't even process half the crap he has done or lies he has told at this point. So I don't know because he has never done that before and it did not seem like a big deal to him. And the agent says, maybe you think he did not have anything to hide anymore. It made you think he didn't have anything to hide anymore. He reiterates to make sure that's what she was trying to say. And of course, she says no the second time. Has a memory like exactly. Agreed. She mentioned Shanann says they were separated after the murder, but during the interviews, she says that they are in the process of separating. Yeah, she changes what she thinks about them so much. So then NK says, the agent said, so it made you think that he did not have anything to hide anymore. And then she says, no, even though she just said that earlier in the video, he acted like he had nothing to hide anymore. Words out of her mouth. But then she says, no, not at all. And again, he talked on the phone. Oh, I get it. I read that wrong, you guys. And she meant, no, not at all. It made her think he didn't have anything to hide at all. So she was agreeing with him. I just didn't understand her context. So she was saying, no, not at all. And again, he talked on the phone to me pretty freely and all the time. So to NK, he never seemed like on the phone that he had to hide anything at all. And that is why she believed that he was getting separated and sleeping in the basement. It never occurred to her that maybe this wasn't happening because he was so liberal about his communication with her, even if they were in the same house together at the same time. For NK, it was like maybe she's just upstairs and maybe he's just downstairs and they are separated and it doesn't really matter if he makes a phone call. She states that he was always liberal with the phone calls, but when it came to like paying for things, it was always the Anadarko gift cards. She did not know if it was from him hiding it from her or because he happened to have the gift cards, and why not spend them instead of using money in his bank account. She says, I don't know again. But she noticed that last time they hung out, that he paid with the credit card, and she was confused because she was pretty sure that he still had a balance remaining on like one of those Anadarko's cards. But again, she does not know, but you have said this twice in 15 minutes, NK. But she doesn't know. She said twice, you guys, that she thought he had money on one of those cards left. And so it was strange that he didn't use one of the cards. Also, let's not forget, she's the one that mentions all the sketchy stuff, move the truck, record, yeah, pawn the ring, blah, blah, blah. You're absolutely right. Don't forget to hit the like button, you guys, and subscribe if you're new. Oh, Muffy, I believe Chris hates his mother. He said it when they asked him in one of the interviews, when it was a Wisconsin interview, or maybe one with Cadle. He said, for now, when they asked him if he was getting along with his mom, he said, for now. It's good for now. His relationship with his mother. Okay, so how does she know he talked freely? She was gone. So this would have been Shanann was home. She's talking about, yep, I agree. Definitely. And she was supposed to be gone there the whole time. And she admits it right there. I don't feel they had a conversation either. No sex like the book says. I feel whatever happened started in some sort of way the minute she closed the front door. I have to agree with you. They said that with swabs that they found there wasn't any sex. Why would he have to live in the basement if they only dated while Shanann was in NC? So he never would have had to move into the basement because Shanann was gone for 5 weeks and the relationship only lasted 6 weeks. So he was seeing her way before that, and that's why he went to the basement. Oh, that's hilarious, togetherness. Yeah, she didn't have any emotion or anything. Okay, so the agent said, all right, what's next? And NK says, let me just give you the dates real quick for the things when we were out in public. The agent says, sure. NK says, so I think I have these dates right. I hope I have these dates right. But on Sunday, I think it was Sunday the 5th, I think. And the agent says, July 5th? And I wish he wouldn't have said that because she could have been talking about August 5th. Why did he put words in her mouth? Why does he say he should have said which month? And she could have slipped up and said June for all he knows. He shouldn't have been answering the questions for her. Okay, so then NK says, yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. I'm glad that you're paying attention to this because, yeah, I think July. I was going to start at the beginning. I went out of town for my birthday. I came home on July 3rd, which was the night of my birthday. She then says on the 4th of July, she went over to Chris's house in the morning and helped him with his meal plan thing. And after that, she went to a 4th of July Rockies game with one of her friends. And on the 5th, she thinks it was the 5th. She doesn't remember, but her and Chris went to go see a movie, and they went to the movie theater that is up by the Lazy Dog, which was, I think, on 144th and I-25. And the agent says, "What movie did you see?" And NK says, "The new Jurassic Park movie, but don't know what it's called." She remembers the first showing was sold out, so they left and they walked down to the benches in front of the Victoria's Secret, but doesn't know what corner of the building that would be on. But if they need her to go there and figure it out, she would. And the agent says, "No, I'll figure it out. That's okay." So NK said that they sat on these benches under this tree and BS'd until the next showing of the movie, and then went to the second showing of the movie. She said it was really late. She wants to say it was like 9 or something, but she wants to say it was Sunday, but don't, because she feels like it was wasn't that Sunday. But she does know it was her birthday. It was her birthday though, but she don't know. And all of this is what she was saying. It didn't make any sense, and I couldn't figure it out, and it was giving me a headache, and so I just wrote it down how she said it and then moved on. She said she might have all of her dates mixed up, and if she does have them all mixed up, they could start pulling cameras or something to find out. She says, so then, and then she pauses, and she says, "Let me go back to," and she pauses. And she says, "No, I was looking at August. That's why that date didn't look right, or that date sounded weird. It was," and she sighs and says it was like, and she pauses again. "It was either the 6th of July or the 7th of July. I was looking at the wrong month on the calendar." So all during that time, she is just sweating and jumbling her words, and the agent doesn't even pick up on it in one little minuscule way. He says, "So Sunday the 6th, pardon me." And NK says, "No, it's, I think, see, that's what I'm saying. I didn't think it was a Sunday. It was either Friday the 6th or Saturday the 7th of July. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong calendar." She remembers because that was like their first or outing and date. And it was a weekend right after her birthday week. And yeah, probably the 6th or the 7th. And they did not go anywhere again until the next weekend. And that weekend was Saturday, July 14th. And she said it was the day that she went to his house, and they went to Shelby Mustang Museum on July 14th. She said that they took a tour, and then after they left and went to his house. And the agent says, "Do you remember what time that was?" And NK says, "That we left?" And the agent said, "Uh-huh." And NK says, "I don't know." And the agent said, "What time do you think you got there?" And NK says, "I don't know. I don't remember." And then the agent says, "Morning, afternoon, night?" And she says, like 11 a.m. or so. And it took an hour or an hour and a half to walk through. It's a small museum. And after that, they were going to go to lunch in Boulder, but they decided not to. And we went to his house. I dropped him off because I had picked him up to go to the museum. And he asked her if she was driving her 4Runner. So first of all, she's lying here by saying that she dropped him off, because we know that she went inside, and this is where their argument ensued. And this is when Chris says that it all turned and he decided that he had to kill his wife. But, and she got mad and texted him from outside in her 4Runner and blah, blah, blah. So she's lying. Why is she lying if she's innocent? So then he asked her if she was driving her 4Runner. She says, "Yeah, we drove my 4Runner all the time. It was only one time I was in his vehicle, and I told you so. It was so he could go get gas. All these adventures were all done in my truck. So then we went to his house, and I did not want to be there, so I left him there, and he did not go with me." And then the agent says, "At his home?" And NK says, "Yes, I left him there, and I left by myself. And that is how it ends at the 30-minute mark. And I'm still going to cover the end of it, but I just wanted to talk to you guys and see what you think. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, something was way wrong with him. He interrupted her so many times. I wish Tammy would have got her instead of him. I mean, he could have interviewed Chris, and Chris would have probably told him everything that he told Tammy. But NK needed to be interviewed by Tammy. Chris was a weak link. He would have broke with anybody questioning him. But yeah, I think she thinks she has special powers too. She slipped up in this interview, though, and when the agent said you were helping Chris better his weight or whatever, his workout or his fitness, she said, no, he was actually had that under control. He just said that since I was in, and then she catches herself and says, healthy lifestyle, I could help him with his macros. So I just find it priceless that she said that. And I would have never picked up on it had I not known she wasn't in that group. Yeah, it is brain boggling how she says how much she can't. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know. But she remembers little bitty details like sitting on a bench in front of a Victoria's Secrets. I agree, Charlie. Yep, big time. And I can't wait to see if there's more slips in the end of this interview, you guys. But hit the like button, subscribe if you hadn't subscribed. We are not going to be covering any more speculation and stuff for the next little while. We have a while before we got to cover any of that stuff. The next videos that you guys see from me are going to be us finishing the second interview, me going over each and every single one of the discovery papers. We've already went over the first 200 pages, and me breaking down that Wisconsin interview. So we have lots of videos to cover, just covering those things. I'm going to be busy all through the holidays doing that, because writing them out as the interviews go, it takes twice as long to write it out. Like, it takes twice as long to write out 15-minute conversation than it does to just listen to it. But when I'm writing it out, I notice so much more than I did before. Boop, boop. Let's see. In her last text to Chris, which was on Tuesday, prior to anything being discovered, she said she was going to gyms until things blow over. Oh, wow. She was ready to tuck and run. Yeah, I don't know why she was so fragile. She was even being almost downright condescending and rude to them. Yeah, I've always said that the bad cop called out that day. I've always said in her interviews, we got the good cop and the bad cop called out that day. He didn't come to work. No one's tried to talk to Jim. He wouldn't talk to anyone. You can't even add Jim on Facebook as a friend. You can message him, but you cannot add him on as a friend on Facebook. Thank you for all 88 people here in my live. Thank you for the 88 people in my live. Thank you for the 92 people in my live. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the 92 people in my life. Thank you. There are a few mouse dropping ones when you get to Chris Watts leaving for North Carolina. Great video. I didn't pick up on what you did. Thank you for Levy. Yes, the Unvalorous Regine, I think is what she's called. Thank you, Charlie. Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I knew that Jim meant more to her than Chris did when Chris messaged her the day of the murders, when she got home at work at 3:45, and he messaged her that the cops were at his house. And she told detectives that she called Chris back by 4 o'clock, but according to Discovery and phone records, she didn't call Chris back until 5. So she let him squirm with the cops and do whatever was going on for an hour and 15 minutes before she called back to check on him, while she spent that time with Jim because he was waiting on her at her apartment when she got off work because Jim had a key. Now that's some tea right there. Oh, that's crazy. Yes, I agree. Leave Jim alone. Leave him alone. Because she already knew what was going on. Yes, preach. Chris was used. I bet if plan went through, they would have killed Chris. Yeah, that's true. Conspiracy. Did we hear what? That in the conversation about the 111-minute NK says, what loud and creepy, almost witch like, dude, you just hear that. No, I didn't know that. Yeah, the French lady's info was mind-boggling, and I didn't even watch it. I just, because I didn't want to get scared, but I did watch how she got a privacy strike over it and the messages that she was receiving afterwards and all of that. I think Still Here was the one that shared that with all of us. Yeah, leave Jim alone. I think I'm going to say that when people are bullying me now, so they know that I'm not like pushing back. I'll just say, leave Jim alone. That's right. Leave Jim alone. I'm not sure, Miss T. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I'm super honored that you picked me to be your first person to communicate with on YouTube. You rock. Thank you. I will type her name right here in the chat box. Unvalorous Regine, I believe is what it's called. I think that's how you spelled it. Let's see. The kid glove treatment for NK makes me uneasy with judicial system. So much does not add up and so many things contradict. Yeah, it could be deeper than we all know. It could go like deep into politics, the law enforcement. We have no idea how deep this goes. Yeah, my motto is leave Jim alone. Yeah, it's true. I noticed that she's lying every time she says no, 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 no. He doesn't need to be in this. Thank you, Jackie. Leah, I typed it up. Look where I just typed in the chat box. I gave you her name. Go watch her video. She called everything that was in the missing chapter of Sherilyn Cadle. Unvalorous Regine called all of that a long, long time ago. It's so eerie that they match so much that it's almost as if Sherilyn took it from her and wrote the chapter. because it's identical to what this girl was saying. I mean, identical. The missing chapter is identical. But I do know that ton of femicides happen in the month of August. Wow, that is very, very interesting. Oh, that is interesting, Elizabeth. I didn't know that either. That's what I want to know. That's why, because her and Chris had been seeing each other for a year. I honestly think it was a year. The first time she Googled Shanann, she had her either mind set on dating Chris or they were already dating. Yeah, you'd be wasted, Charlie, if you took a drink every time you heard her say, I don't know. Literally, I heard NK say, I don't know, more in 30 minutes than I've heard it from my children their whole lives. Yeah, yeah. 7 months ago. Thank you. Togetherness said it. It was 7 months ago that she posted this, and it's like the author took it right out of this girl's YouTube. Kato probably saw her videos. She can't come up with her own ideas. That's what I thought. I mean, it matches it way too much for me to not think that Kato didn't. Yes, it was a year or more. They tried to say it was a typo, and some of her interviews have been redacted out of the discovery. There is more to this story than we all know, and I'm telling you, I bet it's bigger than anything any of us little YouTubers are going to be able to find out. Because just by the way that this case was handled and how much Nichol has gotten away with and how much she has not gotten in trouble for, it's mind-blowing. Or even asked about. I guess I shouldn't say. I should say what NK has gotten away with and what she wasn't asked about. That blows my mind. Just beyond, it's all beyond me that she was never asked even one or two of these things. It's ridiculous. I never said I hate him. I've been subscribed to the Armchair Detective for a year. I never said I hated him. I actually don't hate any YouTuber, you guys. If you have the nerve to get up here and to put out these videos and to speak in an open platform where people can listen to you, then I got mad respect for you, because you are dealing with the hate. You are persevering through things that most people can't do. So I don't care if I agree with you or not. I still have mad respect for you for getting on and sharing your opinions and not worrying about them matching everybody else's. So the only thing I ever said about AD is that now that I know that Sherilyn Cadle was his subscriber from a year ago, it concerns me about the shadows and Chris manipulating us all to believe that AD was right, because Sherilyn Cadle could have told him about the shadows because she was AD's subscriber. Or the fans could have told him about the shadows. And so it's 50-50. It doesn't mean that I don't like him. It just means I'm not 1,000% sure about the shadows yet. And if I am sure about the shadow, it's one. shadow. I don't believe that Cece was up running around doing anything because I feel like he killed her. If there was a shadow, it was just Bella. That's my personal opinion. But do I hate AD? Absolutely not. I watch his stuff. He deserves just as much respect as I deserve. Let's see. Maybe she giggled because she was so successful in the levels and saw their beautiful life or her beautiful husband. Yep, the tech person said what he put in discovery was what was in the searches. I love that they tried saying it was a typo, that people still say that it is. That don't no, it's not. Oh, I know it's not. I know it ain't no typo. I was just saying what bull crap people are trying to say. That's where I think she's got the demon idea from, and that's the reason Chris picked her up from the book. And why else? Well, she also said that Anna is the one that gave Chris the demon idea. The religious girl that got in the car wreck after drunk driving. No way, Elizabeth. Wow, that's creepy. They own it. Faith and Unley, what's going on with AD? She probably tried to curse all the detectives and scared them. More that wasn't saying you hate him. Watch that one tonight. He did. It's so deep. Oh, okay. I will, Faith. Sorry. I woke up today and I had a lot of people saying they unsubscribed to me because they thought I was hating on AD, but I wasn't. I get it, Faith. I'm so sorry. It's just other people had said that. I haven't watched her a lot. I haven't, but I did think it was very unfair, the way that they attack her in the Patreon group that I was in. It is awful. They make parodies of her. They're really, really mean. I mean, mean. Okay, Misty, I will watch that. I'm so sorry you went through that, Leah. It's not fair that people don't support and uplift. Oh, wow. That's crazy, Charlie. Why? They're idiots. Yeah, I've never watched her video, Brandy. I agree. Yeah, Faith, I agree. I watch him just to see what he's talking about and if it makes sense to me and if he figured something out. So I get that. Yeah, that's the way I feel, Felicity. I feel like they said, hey, we've already got him. He's serving 5 consecutive life sentences. I'm not putting any more legwork on this case. Yes, exactly, Stephanie Smith. Yeah, that's what I said at Charlie. That's good to know. Thank you. Anna is creepy. I agree. Yeah, but people that don't follow the case like us still will say that didn't they say 2017 typo? Yeah, that's just ridiculous. No, I don't have an opinion on Mary Marlowe because I've only seen her in passing. Like I've never stopped and watched her for any amount of time, and I don't ever say anything bad about other YouTubers. I just don't, unless they come at me, and then I defend myself and then keep it moving. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Jackie. It's Mel and Jay for Justice and Jamie. Maybe someone else. Oh, I get it. Okay. Well, good for them. Brace yourself, Mama. I bet they start doing parodies of you soon. They don't like likable people. It's okay. I'll laugh at them. I'll probably share them on my Facebook. I'm renting space in your head, baby love. You can't tell me that just because it's negative that I'm not renting space in your head. Thank you. Drive through. Yeah, that's awesome. And if they do parodies of me, I will laugh my butt off. And then I'll come on here and do a parody of the parody. Get it, get it? I agree, Elizabeth. I've never even watched her, but my heart goes out to her because, oh, Muffy, thank you so much. My heart goes out to her because I saw the hate that she was getting, Elizabeth, in that group of CCs, and it was not nice. Thank you, Miss T. Charlie, tell him. Leave Jim alone. Leave Jim alone. Thank you, Muffy. You are precious to my soul. Thank you. Might be a good Christmas around here for Mama. I always buy for the kids. I don't have any family or anything, so I have to buy for myself too if I do ever want to buy anything at Christmas time, because my mom's dead, my dad's dead, my grandma, my grandpa, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, everybody's dead. It's just me. But there's nobody to run up the ladder and tell on me either. I am the godfather of this family. I'm at the top, so everything else trickles down. Everyone else gets told on. It's sad. I'm sorry, love. There are certain channels which have proved to be not reputable, making up stuff as well as sensationalizing false info, but those are my opinions I formed through watching them. I agree, Felicity. And that's another reason why I don't care if they do parodies of me, because I can still say that not one of my Watts videos I'm making money off of, and they can't say that. And not one of my Patrick videos I'm making money off of, and none of them can say that. I've went to all of their channels, and they have ads on the Chris Watts stuff. I do not have one ad on anything that has to do with murder, death, tragedy, loss, any of that. Because I will not make money off of tragedy. Okay, Faith. Thank you, sis. I need to take my dog out too. Yeah, let's do that for the families that don't have anybody. You best believe I'm going to be here with you guys on Christmas. Yeah, my kids will open up their stuff, and then my daughter always takes my grandbaby and goes her own way, and it's just me and Gage here, so we will get on here and hang out with you guys. And maybe for the first 15 minutes, we'll keep it kid-friendly, and we'll let my son interact with you guys for a little bit. I try to keep him protected and off of this, but it's Christmas, why not? And we will just have a good old time, and then I will lock him out of the room, and we'll get back to our true crime. Thank you, Felicita. That makes me very happy. I'm sorry, Leah. We have each other now, you guys. We have each other. See? And then maybe we were put in each other's lives for a reason, and that this was the path that we were supposed to come to a point on, and now we all have each other on the holidays. Because that's the hardest time for me. And my dad just died in 2013, and I was very, very addicted to pain pills most of that time. The last 2 years is the only 2 years since my dad died that I have been able to feel it. So these last 2 holidays hurt worse than the very first holiday right after it, because I had numbed myself with oxycodone 30s. Top chat is that's it. Super chat. If somebody wanted to send me money, they would do it in that super chat you're looking at right now. And what happens is it puts your comment at the top, and then it gives me the money, but they keep 30% of it. And then I donate 20% to whatever cause we are going to come up with. We're going to try to figure out a way to get 20% of that money into a needy person's hands. And we'll do that as a team. All the contributors, everyone that gave me the money, will help me decide who I donate it to. And it may be someone different every month, which means I have no problem sharing how much super chat I get and how much donation I'm going to give. I make 50% selling Mary Kay, so why not only make 50% on my super chat? They're keeping 30% anyway, and I'll donate the other 20% to a charity because I feel blessed right now. I feel like that it's the least I can do is give back, because this is not what I expected to happen to my channel when I started it. I expected to have to work very hard for a solid year before I would get here. And granted, I did work very hard for a solid month. I put video, there hasn't been one day I didn't give you guys videos. But I never expected it to be this fast, and so I want to give back. You keep yourself humble, and you don't end up letting it go to your head, and trust me, a little bit goes a long way when it comes to those organizations and somebody that needs help. Yes, all us single mamas or people without anyone, we can have a Christmas together live. I love that idea, Chronic Live. I think that's great. Thank you, Miss T. Yes, we are family. I just love this community. Yes, I can. I said that from the beginning. I said, you know, you guys stop telling me to stop touching my hair. I'll have more respect for you if you say I have a 9 head instead of a 4 head, or that I have a really big mouth, or I would respect some original content instead of stop touching your hair and you're too loud. I mean, come on, crack me up here. Be original. If you need help coming up with the content, I can give it to you. For all my haters. All right, so let's see. Thank you, Charlie. And when I put my foot in my mouth, like I did about pagans, I corrected myself. So if I don't want the Christians to be getting a hard time here, why would I want the pagans to be getting a hard time here? You got to, you know, you can't have a double standard. So I am willing to learn, and I know that you guys know some things that you can teach me. So my mind is open and ready to learn any kind of educational information. Yes, we do, Miss T. Ooh, it's so hard to keep up. Leave Jim alone. Stop touching your hair. Thank you. And I need to dye it. This is faded out. It's not even what it normally is. Oh, Muffy girl, you need to stop. You girl. You guys in these super chats now. Anyone that donates a super chat to me, though, will be involved in the process of who we donate that 20% to. Yeah, you guys. And I don't even know anything about making money off of the videos. I did monetize a couple of them, like my nail videos and some Asperger videos. I will let y'all know, for those of you that don't already know, like what that makes. That way you can decide if it's worth starting a YouTube channel or not. They do not give you the super chat option until after you have 1,000 subscribers and you've become a partner with the YouTube partnership program with AdSense. Oh, thank you, Togetherness 11. Oh, I wish I was doing my hair. My gray is out of control right here. Right here. Out of control. You guys are awesome. I'm going to run and check on my son. There's 102 people here. If you got to go, I understand, but I'm coming right back. I promise. I just want to make sure he doesn't need anything. And yes, it's late and he's up because I am giving him a Saturday night fun night. Are you okay? You need anything? Okay. We're back. We're back. Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you, Miss T. You guys are great too. Leave Jim alone. Dr. Phil said that it is not going. It's not over. Being this case being sensationalized, and people looking into it, and they're it peaking and then having lows and then peaking. He said that it's not over because people are going to be writing books when Chris gets married, and people are going to be continually trying to get him to tell a different truth, or he's just like one of the people like Charles Manson. People are going to want to write him, people are going to want to marry him, people are going to want to get in his head. He went into how there are women that are serial con men or prison daters and marriers. I know that's not how to say it, but you get my point. And that they don't want to date men out here that aren't in prison because they can control everything if he's on the inside and she's on the outside, and that there's no competition when you're dating a guy that's got life, and that you know that he needs you, and you get all this unconditional love because you're his only person, and you're going to get doted on and all kinds of letters, and that you're his everything because you're his commissary, you're his phone calls, you're his life. And so women feed off of that, and there are women out there that will break up with one man and marry another man from prison. So, yeah, Charlie is Jim, you guys. You didn't know that? We got Jim in the house. Right here's Jim. Miss. So, yeah, that's what Dr. Phil said. Oh, Elizabeth Gregory, you stop it. I like to donate to addiction awareness someday. I lost my little brother 3 years ago to an overdose, and my fiance and I just celebrated 4 years clean. Girl, I just celebrated 2 years clean on November 4th. What was your date? What was your date, sister? I want to know. And that is awesome. Congratulations on both of you guys. Amazing. Over the pond. That is great, Elizabeth. Good for you. Good for you. Oh, well, that's good to know, Leah. Yes. Felicity Strong, too much. We might as well laugh at the crazy parts. I know that's right. You're March 28th, Sarah. Congratulations. That's great. I'm so happy for you guys. My birthday's March 2nd, so that is a great month to celebrate. Elizabeth, I'm curious to see when yours is because October 29th. Wow, you just got another year on your belt, under your belt. You get it, girl. So proud of you guys, each and every one of you. We did it. We did it. Yep, I've been sober for exactly 2 years on November 4th, and I couldn't be more proud of myself. July 3rd. My little brother passed July 2nd, which is crazy. Thank you. I did have help with Suboxone, but I still think that's clean. Yes, girl. I made a video about this. I said the same thing, that my sober date was November 4th, 2017, and I got sober. And because I was using Suboxone, I was able to say that I've been sober for 2 years. But I've been clean for a year. So, which means that I didn't take Suboxone, but I did take Subutex, which is the same thing as Suboxone, for an entire year, and then I weaned myself off of it. And I'm telling you, sister, I think that is great. Muffy, where did you get your name from? A muff? Muffy, where'd you get your name? And I am so sorry for your loss too, sister. So sorry. A lot of my very close friends passed, and my very best friend died of a drug overdose in October himself. Dedra, it works differently on different people. Some people, it gives too much energy. They feel jittery. They don't like it. And other people, they can't feel it at all. It's a case-by-case basis. I'm so sorry. Yes, high five to everyone that is on this live, staying sober and not out trying to find your next fix or your drug of choice or whatever. We are inside on a Saturday night, hanging out with other sober people. It's great. Yes, Suboxone saved my life, you guys, or Subutex saved my life. Honest to God. What a great community I have in you guys. I'm so lucky to have each and every one of you. You all bring something different to the table, and it is amazing. I feel like I need to wipe this lipstick off. It's like building up in the corners of my mouth. Gross. So gross. There we go. Much better. At Mama's on Saturday night, all my children are at Mama's house. I'm happy being home too. That's right. Thank you, girl. It was getting on my nerves. I'm already in my jammers. I don't need lipstick. But I am probably going to jump off here, you guys, and I'm going to go finish up the next 15 minutes. I'm not going to bring it back to you tonight. I'm going to probably go show my son that normal people don't need to be up this late. But, well, I shouldn't say that. I'm just going to make sure he don't stay up all night because he'll sleep all day tomorrow. And if I stay on this computer, he will just continue to play on his game. So I have to go get him off of his device because they say that it takes a few hours after staring at a blue screen for your eyes to adjust, and that the blue screen keeps you awake. So I better go get that started. I'm the mean mom that has to take away the video games at midnight on Saturday night. But I had such a good time with each and every one of you. Thank you for taking an hour and 45 minutes out of your Saturday nights to spend with me. Thank you for your super chats. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your thoughts, your ideas, all of your speculation on this case. It really is helping because I'm keeping my mind completely open. So please keep those comments coming. And I really appreciate each and every one of you not judging me and just being so kind. Thank you. My community, great. It's great. Mama's Beauties community is great. Thank you so much, you guys. Bye. Don't hate, participate. Don't hate, appreciate. Bye, bye, bye. Yes. Yes, Muffy. I am too. Bye, bye, bye.